Hello everyone, Michael Mechanical here, and my door on my cupboard's open. I didn't even notice that. Well, I did, but I didn't. Today I'm just going to call this a bit of a vlog because I made a video 40 minutes long yesterday, just talking and ranting and stuff on the camera. That's why it's sitting right here. And I was going to upload it, but then it's like, no, I didn't upload it, and I was intending to do it last night, so I guess it's too hard for me to just pick up my camera and make a video. So that to me is just seemingly too hard. And then there's other work that's also too hard. So it's a bit of an interesting scenario. So the update I can give you for the Triton is I have been working on the exhaust manifold. I started a few days ago. However, I bought a tool, spent money. It was a waste of my money for that specific job because I am using a heat gun thing, what do they call them? A trade flame butane torch or something. It uses polyethylene or I can't even pronounce what it is. It's not propane. And it's meant to be able to get up as high as 3,000 degrees. I misread that. That was for the oxyacetylene version of itself, which can get as hot as acetylene. The problem I've got is it won't get that hot. So when I'm trying to weld cast iron, essentially with my brazing rods that I have, the metal gets cherry red. I can melt the rod, I can't melt the cast iron, and they won't fuse properly. And because of that, I know that it's too thick and there's not enough heat to get the metal hot enough to do the welding. Now with the rods that I'm using, there's nothing wrong with them. They are melting as they should and they work just right. However, because the heat is dissipating too quickly from the manifold when I'm trying to weld this same metal to the rod filler, so I've already filled it with the rod and now I'm trying to add this filler to that filler, essentially the metal is not fusing and that's causing me issues and grief. So I'm at the point where we know for certain I need an oxyacetylene if I'm going to use that method. Otherwise, the other methods, I've got two more options. One is to use an arc welder with, Dad is saying, stainless steel rods, but I bought some special rods which are $10 each. And now after the experience with the welding, I don't think I have enough rods to do the job. I think I'm going to need 1 to 2, depending on the cracks, each. And I don't think I have enough rods, so I'm going to have to go out and buy a packet of something like 10 to 20 or whatever they are. Don't know. Then there is the second option that I've got left after the first option, which is exhausted. So, I'm sorry. It's getting late. It's 9 o'clock. And Monday I start a new course for 2 weeks. The other option is I buy a brand new exhaust manifold. It's surprising that you can still possibly get those exhaust manifolds. It's just when you look at the prices and you're in my position, you're like, frick, that's a lot of money just for this piece of metal that doesn't really do much other than flow exhaust gases out. I mean, in a way, I think I could make one, but the catch-20 is I don't have all the tooling to make one. I could make one if I had the tools available, but I don't have the tools available, and thus I can't make one. So, at this point, if I didn't buy the tooling that I bought and I went with oxyacetylene, it probably would have set around the same price point to buy a brand new one as it is to repair the old one. And that's suggesting that the new exhaust manifold will cost $300 to $500 a piece. So repairing it is costing me around the 300 mark thus far, roughly. And that's to get the equipment, the tools to potentially do it, but they failed, so that was a waste. To do the job properly and then be able to use the tools for later job, it's going to cost $600 right here, right now. So that's not even including all the rods. The rods you need is like 1 to 2 per crack or for fill. I think you need more rods though than that. When you start off, you fill it at the base, and then once you've done the base, then you have to fill it over the top, and then you have to spread it a little bit so the surface has that structure to hold together, you know, to be a binder. And unfortunately, I'm at the point where nope, can't do that either because that would be expensive as well. So I'm right now contemplating buying a brand new exhaust manifold. That way I have a complete engine, brand new parts, and it's all been checked over, tested, and whatever, to make sure it's all going to be okay. I'm also waiting on a head gasket. I have not heard anything about it this week. I heard last week he's getting the material this week. He didn't get back to me, so I sent him an email, the person with the head gasket, and hopefully I'll get word next week, and hopefully I'll be able to pay him. He'll send over the head gasket to me in its 1.7mm form, and then I'll be able to now put the head on the engine with all the parts. Okay, that's a bit out of my system, not all of it. So, other than the car, I've been doing tax stuff. I haven't finished all my tax stuff, and I'm not really interested in doing it at the moment. I just got my statement from work. I'm slowly organising that stuff, but on the side, I'm also working on a new game project. Currently, I'm having issues with trying to set things up, and this is me trying something else because I have an artist who critiqued my work. He picked on it. He sent me a picture back. I'm thinking, this guy, he might actually know how to do this stuff, or he might be interested in helping me. I'm going to have to find some funding so I can pay him to help me somehow work on this project for at least a short period of time, because I don't know if I could. I don't think I could afford him for very long, or find a way to affordably, feasibly keep him on as a team member. So I'm going to try and open up his file that he sent me where he critiqued my original picture that I posted, that he then copied himself and picked on things. Here we go. This is the file. No identifiable thing. Okay, I can't identify him. So this is what he was picking on. He's saying, what's causing this? This was an offset causing this issue here. This also seems like a harsh line. I don't see this harsh line. It looks soft to me. But that's, him saying it looks like a harsh line. But that's probably just a separate thing or additive from the effect. This is your raise. Yes, that is my raise. And then he's like, 0 equals harsh line. Or maybe blue equals harsh line. So the harsh lines are all the blue lines. And why is the lighting reversed here? So why is there no sun here? Or why is there sun here, but then it's black on this side of the tree or something? I don't know. It's a weird situation. I don't know. So he seems to be able to pick on things because he's an artist and he's good at what he does. I've been trying to tweak and tune with these things, but I still have the same sort of problems reoccurring in my project. And this here is my project scene. Oh gosh, camera. I'm going to grab the camera properly if I can. This is my scene. I've been trying to tweak things. There's the harsh line that he's talking about there. There's one there. This is a soft line to me, but he might pick it on and call it harsh, soft here. I don't see the harsh line. There's another harsh line. There's sort of harsh line there. I don't know how I'm going to fix this, but I've sort of looked at a lot of settings and a lot of things. It is not easy, and I've looked into updating to a version that can support light rays. The thing keeps breaking. Every time I've tried to update, everything just breaks. It's not compatible forwards and backwards again. So if something breaks, I try to revert it, it doesn't work. So my advice, if people are game developers and watching this, anyone who even thinks about doing that sort of stuff, always remember to do version control, which is this thing on my screen here. And this is awkward to hold the camera, sorry. But version control is very critical when you're updating, downgrading, want to revert your changes back when something breaks, because otherwise you might lose a heck of a lot of work, and that is not good. And you can't do that in reality. In reality, you start working on something, you can't really go backwards unless you can fill it with weld or something, and you can come up with a solution that is viable. The only problem is it's not always viable. Not everything is. So, the rant that I went on about was about the fact that we got this Covid-19, and I can't even remember everything I was saying. How I'm still dependent on some of my parts from a singular country because they're the only one that produce some of these parts that are in my price range that I can afford. Then there is another country which is near to them, which is not them, which is Taiwan. And they're the only place you can buy a certain specific part, which is in good, a good quality version. And I'm happy with their products. I've actually bought a few more of their products because they turned out to be really, really good. And actually the reason why my car hasn't blown a head gasket yet. Thankfully, that is probably the biggest reason why. Now, I'm going to point out a couple of facts about the car. It hasn't blown its head gasket yet. It's lasted longer than I've ever seen it last with all the issues that it kept having in the past. Because there's several factors that related to this problem. And we took guesses, but we were not always on the money. I said before, with the head gasket blowing all the time, having these problems, I said, my exact words were, this is going to be a combination of problems that are causing this one problem. Because it's happening too frequently. It's too easy to blow the head gasket, one. Number two is it did improve when I replaced the head gasket and added Polymer. It lasted longer. So that was another sign of that. And number three, when we did deck the block and we did have the head professionally done, it lasted a heck of a lot longer than it was doing before. Before it was almost immediately blowing the head gasket and it was very hard to actually pick it. It was so hard to pick it, in fact, that we figured the problem was not even the head gasket, but we found out after a lot of effort and work and stuff, we found it was still the head gasket going wrong. So the problems we found with the engine that related to the head gasket blowing were faulty injectors. It was overboosting with a damaged turbo, which was grinding and adding heat using the friction from the turbine to the wastegate housing, and then the engine had to try and cool it down, which might have been glowing like red hot at the time, like hotter than if it was just operating normally and spinning at those high velocities that it would normally spin. It also had a broken actuator valve, to which was proving itself unreliable after, putting a new turbo on. It failed, essentially. And the biggest reason for that failure was because oil from the engine got into that component, probably damaged the seals. It was probably also old and fatigued, which is another reason why it failed. And it's damaged it from the oil from the PCV valve. And my PCV valve allows oil from the engine to go through it, and so it caused a myriad of problems for me. And also mine blows a bit of smoke and blows the cap off a little bit, like it shakes and shudders and vibrates. With the new engine that we've built, testing it, that doesn't even move when you loosen the cap. It doesn't do nothing. It's perfect. It doesn't even sputter any oil or anything. It's perfect. Mine is not. So this is why we're doing the engine swap with mine that we're working on now. I've already got about $6 grand in parts spent on the thing, and some of the parts have started to come. We haven't got a rival, and not all the receipts are here either. Shit. And also there's some extra receipts that are just fuel receipts. They're not even worth adding to the pile, but put them there because I had to put them somewhere. So these receipts here that I'm holding on to are irrelevant, but these ones here are relevant. And I know there's a CD in there, but there's a CD in there. There is $6,000 roughly worth of receipts right here for the car, and you can tell it's a Mitsubishi receipt there. And then I've organised my automotive receipts. So now I'm just going to be smart and quickly go through them and see. Yeah, there's Kiwi head gaskets, cylinder head inquiries, Repco, Permaseal, super cheap. I don't know why there's a JB Hi-Fi receipt there. That's not car, but that's probably the CD. You pull it, eBay. Those parts from eBay. Then there's CBC for the O-rings. There is ASI. What's this exactly? Oh, these are the screws. That's okay. That's tap. Never mind. That's technically Dad's. So I'm a liar. This isn't all my car. Tools. RRP. Multifunction measuring. What is a multifunction measuring gauge? Oh, that's emery paper for parts, NZ for the hoses, and it's a myriad of receipts. You wouldn't think it will cost you $6,000 to rebuild a motor, but mine's costing that. It's a diesel. I've still got money to spend on it, and as I said, these are all just fuel receipts and stuff for my car, so they're not. I'm gonna put them somewhere else for now. This is what it is. It is what it is. So I've got some parts coming. There's about $500 in parts I've ordered, maybe 600 that I've ordered that are going to be coming through soon. 4 of them, one package is already arrived at the warehouse. They've now received it. They've shipped it to me. It should be here during the week. And hopefully we won't have any problems with the package. I'm not sure when it will arrive. It could arrive tomorrow. It could arrive Sunday. It could arrive Monday, Tuesday. Who knows when it will arrive. It'll get here when it gets here. I've lost my tree now with what I'm thinking and want to say. There isn't really much I can think of saying now, because I don't feel like I'm as motivated as I was before working. I want to get back into work. So what I'm currently working on doing is pushing myself to have a division of stuff. So I'm part-time going to work on my games, and part-time going to go outside and work on my motor, car parts. I'm going to work on the cars a little bit, and I'm going to work out in the garden a little bit because I haven't been called into work. And I was more motivated when I was working to do heaps of things than I am now. But at the same time, I was not motivated to do games because I was always on standby and always lost my mood after a certain point of waiting to work on a game, or because I jump on to work on a game and then all of a sudden I get pulled out to go to work. And there's just this process I was going through, which is not a very good one, that was causing me to essentially be like, I can't work on games. I'm not interested in working on games. I'd rather play a game because it's easier to drop out of a game than it is to drop out of working on something. You got a problem in your head, you have to solve it there and then sometimes. And it's like, if you walk away from it, you'll just be like, I didn't fix it when I should have. Now I don't remember where my brain was or what I was thinking or what ideas I had to solve this issue. That's the issue that I had, and which is why I was doing what I was doing. So I also got fortune cookies because I helped buy dinner tonight. I've got some chocolate, some chewies. I am thinking about doing some business activities again and remanufacturing some parts that people can't buy or aren't available anymore because I have potentially the resource to do it. I can't say I can do it yet, but I have the possibility of remanufacturing parts for cars that are potentially broken or potentially people need. And I'll specifically for now specialise in the 4056 because I have the parts for the 4056. I'll have a spare motor on the side and I'll be able to use those parts to make copies of it or remanufacture parts. There is a thing about making parts that's dangerous, and there's also the engineering side of things as well, with what materials you use and heat treating, and there's a lot of things to consider when you're making parts. I can't do everything, but I'm going to try and make stuff, and if there's a demand for parts for the 4056, that would be cool, because then I have a small, at least, income stream I can get from those parts. Unfortunately, there wouldn't be a big market, but there'll be enough of a market that I can make a little bit of money that will help me finish mine off and maybe even help pay back for the tools that I've been buying and using. So there's a lot of things to consider, there's a lot of work to do, and that's how things are at the moment. This is my business goal at the moment, to make a game and sell it, and hopefully the goal for this game is $30,000, because $30,000 is, for me, 3 years of living at home. It's not me moving out of home, it's 3 years of living at home. That means 1 year I could work on a game independently, or I could have hired maybe 2 people to help me work on a game, and only part-time help me work on it, and it will last me 1 year, 30 grand down the drain in 1 year, gone. That's only like a part-time, casual sort of basis, that's not full-time. There is a lot of other things to consider, but now my body's taking all time on me. So I guess that's all I should do for this video. I don't know what I can talk about for the next one. There is footage on my camera that I need to extract and edit and upload and get all done, because that is me installing the turbo on my car, which I haven't shown yet, apparently. And my car has been running good. I'm happy with my car. I haven't proven everything yet, but the parts. Okay, last thing I'll do for this video, and then we'll end it. The parts that are coming are the water housing inlet, which is a thermostat housing. There is the pressure relief valve for the intake manifold. There is the 2 oil lines for the turbo, which is, one is the inlet and one is the outlet for oil to the turbo. So the lubrication system for the turbo is on its way as well, because whoever took apart the 4D56 in the U-Pullet yard, took those lines with them when they took the turbo, and they took the head off. So I lost those parts long before I had an opportunity to pull them off. I'm glad I pulled that motor, I'm glad I took it and brought it home, I'm glad I brought home the parts, except for the exhaust manifold, which is shit. It's actually costing me money to fix rather than being able to use it straight up. So thank you all for watching. This is Mike Mechanical signing off for another vlog, or at least a vlog. Take care everyone, and anyone who's in Australia, just in case people are still panicking and going crazy and spreading coronavirus, this is one of the things that's going to be a downfall, is not having the patience. When we do see the crisis get worse, we need to have the patience to understand that we are risking other people's lives by going out there and wondering when the virus has been around us. If we can stay calm, we can stay at home. If we do end up having symptoms, or if we end up being sick, we don't risk putting this bug on other people. This bug is serious, and if people don't want to know how serious this is, this will do irreparable damage to your organs. The irreparable damage will be, as my brother said, 15% decrease to your lung capacity, and then there was something about the new symptoms are potentially able to damage other parts of your body irreparably, and good healthy people who are fitness people who have had COVID-19 say they will never be the same again, because the damage has been done. It has damaged them that they don't feel the same. They may recover completely, they may not. It depends on how bad you get it, but if you get it, the risks are substantially higher that you're going to pass this bug on to someone else, and you're going to do irreparable damage to their lives. The thing is, if everyone can just stay calm, the risks of more people getting it, more people having irreparable damage done to their body and organs is decreased. But in a way, you'll be protecting others. Even if you have it, by being patient, you're going to save other people's lives. That is the thing about COVID-19. It does not care who you are. It will damage you permanently, and it'll be a life sentence to this decreased bodily function, and you'll have to learn to live with it. And imagine if everyone was the same, they all had this damage, none of you would feel great. There'll be no one that feels good anymore. And the people who are going to be thankful are the ones who are going to be not getting sick. And if everyone was patient, if anyone had the bug and stayed in isolation, people would actually be happy because they don't want to catch it. They want to get sick, and they'd be thankful if you didn't go around and spread it around to them or even other people in other communities, because then it spreads like wildfire. We don't need this bug spreading. We need to control it. We need to contain it. We need to eliminate it. It would be very nice if they had the vaccine right about now, but whether they have it or not, I don't know. All I know is there is the testing and the trials, and, well, I have to see how they turn out. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being a part of my vlog, and please be patient. I know it's stressful. I know it's demotivating. It does a lot of things to us to not be able to move around, but it's a heck of a lot better than the consequences of living with permanent bodily damage. Our community, our financial system, a lot of things are going to be damaged if everyone is sickened from this. It will decrease their ability to work as well. It will make it harder for people to work, and people will not live to work till they're like 80 years old, because no one's going to be able to do that if this virus does as much damage as it can do. And there's some people that are going to, die early because of this bug. It sucks. So, people, have some patience. Try to use new ways to get your goods, use new ways to protect yourself, and use new ways to protect others. For at least the time being. It's not permanent. It's going to be just until it's over, and it's a new way we have to live until it's over. And I'm sorry that people have to suffer. I'm sorry for myself too, because the way I've suffered is now I'm not working. I'm losing my motivation, and I now have to do these things and build my own motivation up for myself. I have to become my own boss because, well, I can't work within a company because no one's hiring, and there isn't much work at work, so I'm in a position where I'm stuck at home, and I don't want to be stuck at home. I want to be able to get out and do things and earn my wage. I want to be able to one day buy my own house and have my own land and have a sustainable living style that makes things so much easier on me, because I don't want to struggle as much as I have in my life. And really, the struggle is gonna last so long as you let it last. You have to be determined to overcome it. You have to be determined to get through it. And you can't give up. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being a part of my vlog. Michael the Mechanical, signing off.